There's a lot more interest in the continent than ever before. There seems to be more investment coming in. I think that there are still many challenges that remain that really need to be addressed, which are more structural. But certainly I haven't seen this much interest and demand for African-made garments.
Africa is, for us, the new frontier of manufacturing. You can see a huge amount of movement to it. There's huge amounts of benefits. So in terms of its ability to be close to the US and to the EU from a shipping point of view, very favourable trade agreements, especially things like AGOA, plentiful supply of labour, but also for us specifically in West Africa, a really good approach to worker empowerment and to developing an industry that puts people at the same place as profits.
The strengths of the region are, I think, first of all, huge amount of creativity. I mean, there's just a vast reservoir of artistic and cultural and creative talent. And you can see that sort of historically, although much of that has been hidden, particularly from Western view, there's much, in terms of fabric dyeing. And also within that, if we think about, for example, dyeing Malian mud cloth, there is a kind of inbuilt sustainability angle to that, because traditionally you use the mud to dye that, or the dye pits in Nigeria. There's lots of a wealth of design and so on and so forth. The other great resource, which is related to that, is the people. There's a vast number of people across the continent. So if we think about Africa as a continent with all those 50-odd different countries, there's sufficiently potentially an international market within the continent that could be a huge, huge market, not only for goods that come into the continent, but goods that are developed there. So to me, it's a rich, rich potential.
We have farmers who have worked with us for a very, very long time, and we have also seen that there's a shift in they're adopting the methods of organic agriculture and improving their yields. And also what we focus now is, as a foundation, we look at the whole farm. So it means the animals, it means also food crops, it means food security, it means the whole biodiversity of a farm. So on that level we are developing new projects also, and seeing that from where we focus on the field, we see the improvements, but now also we want to expand and see the impact that we can have on the village level or regional level, so the whole ecosystem and the biodiversity in the area is improving.
I think there's huge opportunities for Africa to become lean and really good, and our whole operating model is based on the fact that if you can make a factory really lean and production efficient at the beginning, then you have got enough money in the supply chain to put into living wages and worker empowerment.
We cannot tolerate exploitative and abusive labour systems. They have to be eradicated. We don't tolerate them in our own countries. So we have the creative, we have the workforce potentially. What we need is the political will to make those kinds of rules, regulations and legislation stick.
Well, when I look at the other regions that we work in, what strikes me as different is that they really work as clusters. So you can go to an area and you know where your raw materials, where your trims, where your accessories are coming from. There's a myriad of different suppliers that you can use. Whereas working within Africa, we find we're more like islands. And there is this one company doing what it does, and they don't really look outward to see what else is available. And I would love to see clustering happen so that the whole industry develops and grows.
So people are the greatest resource across the continent. And if you think in terms of numbers, so Nigeria, for example, the population is something around 160, 180 million people. Think of what that means in terms of markets, yes, but also in terms of the creative talent that is there. So I'd really like to see that sort of economic investment in the creative industries. It's happened in film in very interesting ways, particularly in Nigeria. Let's see it happen in fashion.